Hi, welcome to Finca Impact Finance. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the strategic goals for this organization, for our 2020 vision, and what your role is in that. So listen, the market for microfinance services has radically changed, and not just for microfinance services, but for financial services across the board. And so it's a moment in time where we as an organization and others have to really reflect on how we are going to do our business. And the great news for you is that Finca has a fantastic vision for 2020 and in many respects is leading the transformation of financial services. So what are we focused on as an organization from a strategic perspective? Well, first of all, we had to think very long and hard about how do we redefine our notions of revenue and profitability? How are we actually going to create different revenue streams for this organization going forward? And that led us very quickly to the next one, which is innovating the products and channels that we have to offer to our clients. It's no longer sufficient to offer simple credit products out of a branch infrastructure. We now have to deliver mobile payment services and e-wallets over mobile payment platforms and give our clients the opportunity to access their financial services, not just in a branch, but actually from the comfort of their own home on their cell phones. Next, we then thought long and hard about, okay, well, how do we then build an organizational structure that will actually allow us to support this new strategy as an organization, to promote innovation, to promote leanness, and to promote accountability. And we will continually be focused on doing that going forward because we want to make sure that not only are we efficient, but we're also very aligned. Then we have to give consideration to what the overall optimal footprint of this global network is. We have huge benefits that we get out of sharing learning across this organization, which is wonderful. But on the other hand, we also need to make sure that in each of the individual markets that we're operating in, we are at our competitive peak. And it may be that macroeconomic factors or changes in regulation make it impossible for us to continue operating in some markets, but there are other markets that are going to open to us where the skills and the learnings that we've accumulated as an organization are going to enable us to move in and serve thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. Of course, tools and becoming more efficient is critically important to us, and so we are leveraging technology. I already mentioned the mobile piece, but then in addition to that, we're rolling out tablets, we're rolling out credit scoring, really trying to build a platform that's not just competitive in the near term, but a platform that is actually thinking about what new innovations are going to come down the road, and how do we build ourselves as a flexible organization that can continually think about improving our sources of technology, improving the efficiency that we do our business with. And then last but certainly not least, the reason that we're here talking to you today is that we want to make sure that we build and maintain a high-performance workforce. Ultimately, people are the greatest asset that Finca Impact has. And so as we go through the process of recruiting them, onboarding them, helping them to develop over the course of their careers, moving them around the organization, within the organization, exposing them to lots of different things around this global network. We want to make sure that the people that we have understand that they're valued, and because they feel valued, are putting their greatest value into this organization. So to achieve all of these changes, we've defined 3 priorities for this institution, and they've been very consistent for the last couple of years, and they're going to continue to be consistent for the next few, because the journey that we're on is actually one that's long, and we need to continue to reinforce that these are the most important things that we're doing. So what are those things? Well, first and foremost, it's around the customer experience. So what do we mean by customer experience? Yes, it is about showing warmth and trust to our clients. That's key. We have to treat people the way that we would like to be treated. We can't leave them sitting in the banking hall for hours on end. We can't dismiss them when they've come to ask a question. We have to treat them like they're part of our family, because we ultimately, they are part of our family. But it's much, much more than that. First of all, from my perspective, it's about constantly thinking about how you can actually improve the life of that client. Whether it is an external client or an internal client, if someone is coming to you with a the question. I want you to not just be able to answer that question. That's sort of basic hygiene from my perspective. I want you to be thinking about, how do you make it so that the client never asks that question again? What is it that I can possibly do that's actually going to solve the question before they've even asked it? That's the mindset that we want people to have. And it could be through technology. It could be through process changes. It could just be about making a simple tweak to a product that makes a huge improvement. And so you have that power. You have that power to make those kinds of changes to this organization. And I hope that you will bring everything in your heart and in your brain to making those kinds of changes. Second is, again, this innovation of the products and services that we have to offer. So as technology is changing so fast, it is no longer sufficient for some very bright experts to sit in a room and decide what product we're going to launch or what channel we're going to innovate. Technology is happening all around us today, and so we need to create a platform as an organization where everyone is talking about what we can possibly do to innovate, whether it is a product or whether it is a channel, and capturing those innovations and having a dialogue not just with our staff but also with our clients about what they see and what could be a possible improvement, and then moving very quickly to incorporate these changes, not as big cataclysmic changes, but just on a day-to-day basis, that we're continually thinking that we live in a world that is made up of change. And then last but not least, a very practical focus on the cost of funds for us as an organization, mobilizing funding. So this is a little bit, perhaps for some of you, unfamiliar because you might be working in deposit-taking institutions, but for others who are not working in deposit-taking institutions, this is one of the challenges that comes with the kind of form that we might have in a given country. But what we know and what we have learned over the last many years is that local currency is critical to our strength and resilience as an organization. It gives us the opportunity, when there are significant changes in the values of currencies, to be more resilient. And so we really want to mobilize as much local currency as we can. We want to lower our cost of funds fundamentally. We would very much like to do that through deposit mobilization, which gives us strength as an institution. But even if we can't mobilize deposits, there are other things that we can do, such as issuing bonds or having local access to local lines of credit. And all of those are things that will help Finca impact to be a strong financial institution. And so it remains a very important pillar for us as we go through this process of transformation. So what do I want you to take away from all of these discussions that you're going to have over the course of this training? It is not just my job. It is not just the job of the Finca learning experts to remember the values of the organization and to champion customer experience and to champion products and innovation. It's actually everyone's job, and your job as a leader in your branch is really to make sure that, first of all, you deeply understand what our priorities are. Even if it may not seem like it, you are making contributions to the global success of this organization. And so I need to know that you understand, that you've had the opportunity to ask questions, and that you feel comfortable that you can articulate what we are trying to achieve in terms of our vision. Second of all, I want you to model it. So it's not sufficient to just say customer experience is important. Tell everybody to do it. I want you to believe in it, and I want you to champion it, and I want you to show everybody that it's true, right? And so that means working with your staff and working with your clients in a way that reflects the brand values of this organization, and to have a way of thinking that is open to innovation and to change. And yes, we need to maintain a very clear focus on controls and risk. I'm certainly not suggesting that we create an environment where there are no policies and procedures. Those are critically important to us. But we should have an environment where you as leaders, all through this organization, anyone who is in a position to make a decision is open to considering doing things differently and reflects on that before they make a decision about yes or no. And so I need you to show people that that's possible, and not just possible, but welcome. And then last but not least, I need you to recruit people and teach them that this is how we do it, and keep them motivated and excited, and make sure that the vision is woven into the fabric of their lives on a day-to-day basis at work. And if you can help us to do that, and hold people accountable to achieving the results that we need to achieve around both financial and social impact, we will get to our 2020 vision sooner, and then we will have an even bigger vision in the years to come.